All right, welcome back to the Ask Mama podcast where I let the internet ask my mama questions. I'm Melody Angel.
I'm Mama Stephanie.
And I'm Lamar Duran.
And this is another episode. It's a special episode where we will be discussing the P. Diddy case. And I just want to say, trigger warning, we will be talking about some pretty graphic, triggering material to do with SA. So if that's not your cup of tea, you might want to go ahead and click to another video. But we're going to have a real talk conversation with my mama on this subject. And so on that note, I want to get right into it and just say, when the case broke, when P. Diddy was arrested, what was your first thoughts, Mama? What did you think?
I thought the Southern District never loses a case, really, 99 point something, 98. And I felt, a lot of his victims probably will be able to relax a little better knowing he's in prison.
I thought, my first initial thought was, about time.
Yeah.
How long have we been waiting on this? How long have we known, without actually having proof? Right. Well, we knew there was some sketchy, scummy things that were going on.
Yes, right.
So it's about time, and hopefully justice prevails.
Amen.
Yeah. Obviously, for me, I felt a number of things right off the bat, but for me, I was like, it took 30 years to get R. Kelly, and it took 30-something years to begin to attempt to get P. Diddy. I myself have known about him and have been hearing stories about him since I was a little girl. And I've been in the music industry most of my life, and I've heard and seen things that I know for a fact are very true about how things go and move. But my first initial thing is, wow, America really don't care about black women. Because for all of these years to go by and allow this man to assault and demean and, enslave majority black women, it was allowed for so long because his victims were majority black women. And that's what crossed my mind, is all of the women that look like me, and nobody cared what happened to them. And then all of a sudden you see that tragic video of Cassie. And not to say she's not a woman of color, but she don't look like me. And victim in this society is everything.
Yeah.
It has to be the right kind of victim in order for the ball to move. And unfortunately, that person was Cassie. And that hurt me too, because I didn't know the full extent of what was happening to her.
My God.
And that was horrific to find out.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the Cassie video? And the video we're speaking of, obviously, is the one where she's in the hallway and she's trying to get away from him at this hotel. He went to sleep and she thought this is her chance to get away from him. He wakes up, runs after her down the hall, and drags her back. And it's pretty terrible. So what did you guys think about the video?
When I saw it, it really triggered me because, I've been in an abusive relationship when I was younger, and that just triggered me. Seeing that poor girl run and him just tower over her, it was horrific. And just shame on you to treat any human being. And when he hauled back and kicked her,
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of human being are you
A coward.
to do something like that
Yep.
to this little
The
girl?
actions of a coward.
And for a big man to do that, I was absolutely horrified.
A big ugly man.
Hideous.
I was horrified.
Yeah.
No other way to put that.
Yeah. I thought, how many times has this happened? How many times has she and other women like her in this situation had to endure abuse at the hands of this man? How many times has she tried to leave? How many times has she told people? How many times have people seen,
They saw it,
witnessed this,
Or witness.
and
Yes, sir.
didn't do anything?
And let's talk about that. Let's veer into that because, see, a lot of you may not know if you're just tuning in or, have never seen us before in your life. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I perform all over the world with my band. I do my thing. I know for a fact that this kind of abuse goes on in public circles within these, so-called celebrity circles. And nothing is done and nothing is said. Because when people say this is their entourage, that's what that means. All of them, all of these famous people out here that you love and adore, they all have entourages. And their job as a part of an entourage is to do everything that the celebrity thinks is cool. And to go along to get along. That's your job as a part of an entourage. So when he's out at these parties, these freak-offs, which we're going to go into detail in next, when they're at the studio, when they're backstage, the entourage is in full view of the actions of the celebrity, and it is disgusting and despicable how they laugh along with it, how they pat him on the back and say, "You crazy boy, ha ha ha." And it is as bad as you imagine and worse.
And let's not forget how they solicit,
Yeah.
how they aid and abet
Yeah.
in predatory
And
behavior.
that's why it's a RICO case, which now that we're into it, let's just get into it. He is being charged. The Combs Enterprise is being charged because of these entourage people. They helped him do this. He did not act alone. It's a full conspiracy. And when it is a full conspiracy, you got all these different people helping you get this done and that done and bring and you bring the drugs and you bring the girls and you get the plane to send them off after we done with them and go get these pros to come over to the house and do this, that, and the third. Make them sign NDAs. You write up the NDA. You got like multiple people doing all of these things, setting this stuff up. He had cameras all over his house so he could film all of his so-called friends and blackmail them for a later date, which is why all these CEOs are resigning from their positions all across the globe because they've been to these freak-offs. But this man he's got racketeering conspiracy charges, alleged criminal activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, drug distribution. These are all horrible felonies on top of the RICO.
And another thing that's going to happen to this man is all his money, his property, the feds are going to get it. If he, well, I mean,
they could not technically. What's going to happen is that money is going to be dealt out to the victims,
but he gonna lose.
He's going to lose them either way. But it's gonna be split apart because all of these are going to turn into civil cases after the criminal cases. And just like R. Kelly has to pay out to all of his victims, so will this fool.
And the good thing, the DA said they're not finished. So we don't know who else.
They're not finished because it's a RICO case. They already have the names. But you focus in on the first name. This is how they took down the mob. You take down the boss of
got
the
the
mob,
boss,
and then you
baby.
take everybody else down.
That's
And
right.
and whoever wants to make a deal to make the case better against P. Diddy, then they'll get a deal. They won't get off scot-free, but they will get a better deal.
Yeah.
And you best believe that entourage you thought was so loyal is going to come to them
Tumbling
prosecutors
down.
if they haven't already, begging and pleading. I'll tell you everything. I'll be a shining witness. So he has to deal with the fact that there is no more loyalty. You can't pay nobody off. You don't have access to your blackmail tapes no more. So you are out here on your own.
Flapping in the wind. And all of your co-conspirators.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you have a bunch of fake people around you that ain't really down for you.
That's it.
And that's all the entourage is. That's why I don't like it.
That's it.
If you ain't for me and you agree with everything I say and everything's always cool, that ain't real.
But see, that's what the type of person like him does.
That's
They
right.
surround themselves
A
by
lot of them
enablers.
do. Yes.
But it almost always backfires in the end.
That's
It
right.
sure is, because there is no one standing with him.
That's right.
Now let's go back into what I feel is the most important part of this, and that is black women and how when they say they have been victimized, how that is taken by their friends and family and by prosecutors and everybody. When a black woman says this happened to me, look around and see how many people think you lying. Even when Cassie first came out, remember when she first came out with her story?
Yeah.
Everybody was calling her a lot.
Gold
Not
digger.
everybody, but you know, a lot of black men was coming out the woodwork talking about she a lie, she just looking for money, blah, 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 gold digger, this, that. First of all, Cassie had money. She had money.
Right.
She had a career. She had done a lot of things in fashion, and you know her music career never popped off. You know, of course she couldn't make no money with Diddy on that end, but she was making money as a socialite or you know all different kind of ways,
right?
Because she still was a celebrity. So to call her that and say that's all she was worth and that's all she was there, it's just even if you have a job and you're working and you doing what you do and you tell somebody that this happened to me, why is it that it's not received in like with any empathy? Where's the empathy for black women involved in SA in this society?
It's what Malcolm X said. They don't respect. She's the lowest on the pole. And I think the reason it takes women, you know, they say, "What you wait so long for?" It's because they're afraid they're not going to be believed. Which I feel like you should stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because some of these incidents that happen to these women, you should have went straight to the police and the hospital. Take your chance. Don't worry about everybody believing you. But the reason a lot of them wait 20, 30 years, they're afraid and they think no one's going to believe them. And they're already traumatized
And
from the incident.
Also, it's a two-part. They don't think anyone will believe them, but they also feel like even if they do believe me, now I'm tagged forever as this person.
Right.
And you have to understand there's a different element to this case because you're talking about majority of the women were probably aspiring singers or rappers or producers or something. They're trying to be in the industry. They're looking for their shot. And if they end up being one of the Diddy girls on the list that got abused, then that's what they're marked as for the rest of their career. So it's a lot on the line for them because regardless, even if you do believe whoever the victim is, they're marked with that. And they have to carry that in public. They have to be asked about it in every interview.
That's right.
People don't think about that. They have to keep reliving this for the rest of their careers. It will be associated with this monster. And that's a lot for a young girl to decide to do. And that's what I wanted to say, just so that people out there can give these victims the level of empathy and support that they deserve. Because for them to stand out, to stand up and say, this happened to me, you are full of courage.
That's right.
And I want you to know that if nobody tells you, I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself, and also in turn standing up for other women that were too scared to say something.
That's right. Oftentimes, I think in this country too, which is definitely a truth, money equates power.
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of people, I think, when they go through things like that, especially with someone like him, who is a multimillionaire, okay, if I do come out and say something, he could bury me.
Yeah.
And
he has.
And he has.
And he has. These 30 years ain't been silent.
Right.
They're afraid.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of fear.
Completely afraid.
And
Yeah, and like you said, career genocide.
Yeah, it's been a lot of people lost their careers because they didn't play ball.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then I know you were talking about too, you also asked, why is it in our community as well that we don't believe our women when they come forward?
Even women don't believe women.
Right.
Which is very troubling.
It goes back, for the black community specifically, it goes back to an oppressive mindset. You devalue the black woman even as a black woman.
That's terrible.
And when you devalue a black woman, you are less likely to believe her. Period. And look at all of these hateful men online right now. How they speak on black women. And we're supposed to trust you and tell you what happened to us. Why would we do that?
And then for you
don't
to-
even care what happens to us, to the point where there were, like months ago, there was a video going around of a girl, and this dude like hit her outside of a club because she didn't want him. And it was a ton of black men out there, and none of them helped her.
That's insanity.
This is the reality of the world we live in. When a black man actually steps up for you, it's a shock.
Yeah.
You looking around like, what you doing?
There was no men outside
And
with her.
so this is the issue. We don't have a safe place.
Right.
We can't come to you because you don't care about us. And usually it's older black women that don't believe younger black women because you got some kind of jealousy complex because you old and you've believe that getting older means that you less than, which is another lie.
Right. Or it's the generational curses of that happened to me. I didn't properly
and
deal
nobody
with it,
cared
from it.
about
Nobody
me.
cared. So
It's
who
just
you
a
think you
cycle of pain and an oppressive mindset that has just laid toxicity all over our community.
Well, he got a new woman came out just today named Thadia Graves, and she has a lawsuit against him and a bodyguard named Joseph Sherman. And I read the court documents that she filed today, and when I tell you it is these court documents, you all really need to read them.
Where'd you read them?
I just downloaded a PDF file. Her name, Thadia Graves, and versus Sean Combs. And the things he did to this young lady were almost unbelievable. I've never heard some of the things. I'm not even going to go through it. You got to read this for yourself. And it was him and a bodyguard.
A co-conspirator.
And she held this for 20-something years.
Yeah.
She got the nerve to come out after Cassie.
Yeah.
She's sitting there. She could hardly talk. And when this happened to her, she was so afraid. She got out afterwards. They tortured her for hours. And she got out, and the driver or somebody she knew came to get her and asked her, do you want to go to the doctor and hospital? She was afraid to go because of who he was at the time. Excuse me. And this is horrific, what happened to this young woman.
And I think that what we've allowed as a society, what we've allowed celebrities to get away with, has laid the groundwork for people like R. Kelly and P. Diddy and all the rest of them, and your day gonna come too.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna name you. We'll name you in the next episode when your case comes up.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's right. That's right.
But it's because back in the day, we allowed society allowed for this to be okay, for them to have free reign to do whatever they wanted without judgment or consequence, because we put these people up on a pedestal and we left them there to do whatever they wanted. And they did. And some of them did good things with their pedestal, and some of them did
horrendous things.
Yes.
Monstrous, scary, horrible things the whole time.
Yep.
And that's that person's fault, but it's also the fault of society. We cannot allow these people to be above. Nobody is above you. They do a job. Their job is exciting. Who cares? They make music. I make music. I'm not better than anybody. No. I still got to go get gas in my car. Still got to pay my bills. We all just living our lives out here.
That's right.
And I myself can say, I've met more famous people than non-famous people at this point in my life. They're not special.
Right.
They're no
not.
different than me meeting somebody in line after one of my shows.
Right.
The people at my shows are more interested in than most celebrities are.
I mean,
they're just people.
Just people.
But if you're sitting at home thinking that Taylor Swift is some kind of goddess from the regular person, regular boring person,
that's right,
with regular boring thoughts, who happens to have an exciting job.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Like, move on. Nothing there.
They gotta stop.
And so, and I think that hopefully one of the things that will happen from this is that people wake up and stop looking up to these people. Stop looking up to these people. You can look at them.
Right.
I look at them for motivation, but I don't look up to them.
Right.
No.
Because I don't know them.
No, you don't.
And they don't know you.
And they don't care about you.
That's right.
They don't.
Why you sitting here spending $1,500 on their tickets?
Not me.
Right? You can't pay your rent because you just had to get that ticket to the show.
For
somebody
hour.
who don't care nothing about you
That's
spending all your money for their show.
Thank you. That's what they're saying. And if they saying that.
Bye, Felicia.
Right.
Okay? So, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk almost every episode about the self-hate within our community. And that's something that has just really gone rampant here, and it's left us really unprotected at a time where we need protection.
Yeah.
Because we have candidates for president coming after us. We have the government itself coming after us. We have governments from other countries coming after us. We got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We got police coming after us because they having bad days. They taking our lives because they're frustrated at home.
That's right.
Like, we are under attack as black people. And the last thing we need right now is to not feel safe with one another.
That's right.
We got to
right.
protect one another. Black men have to protect us. And we should feel, when we walk in a room with black men, we should feel like we're at home. Here's our allies. They're here to help us, not hurt
And
us.
protect us.
And you should
Right.
never, a real man doesn't let a non-man hurt a woman or a child.
And let's just say this. Ain't nobody talking about, when I say protect, I'm not saying you standing there with a bat ready to hit anybody that comes at me.
No.
Your presence in a room and the way you value me in that room is my protection.
That's right.
Exactly.
You don't have to lift a finger or do nothing or say nothing. You say, hey, sis, how you doing? Then you already letting everybody in the room know you respect me, you have acknowledged me, and if they mess with you, they messing with him.
That's right.
But if you looking at me like, oh, another black woman. If you say some mess like that in the room, guess what I ain't got in that room
First
now?
of all,
I ain't got no protection in that
right.
room, and everybody now knows it, and you set that up for me.
And you need to leave that room because it is no longer safe.
It's
for
not
you.
safe. Now you gotta leave. You gotta get out.
Yep.
And that's what I'm talking about. So all y'all dudes talking about, we supposed to put ourselves on the line for a stranger. I don't even know this. Why I'm supposed to step in and blah.
Yeah.
No, it's because when you walked into the room, you could care less about her. And that's what you evoked. So the other men in the room or the other predators in the room checked that.
Right.
And was like, oh, he ain't gonna do nothing if I go for her. So I'm gonna go mess with her. That's how that happens.
That's right.
And then y'all wanna act dumb like you don't know that. Woo-wee. It's rough out here.
Oh, yeah.
It's rough out here. But I wanna say, if we had any last words on this subject, I would just like to say, for anybody who has been SA'd, let this be a acknowledgement that there is somebody that will believe you, and that it's not, if that's not enough, you're not doing it just for you, you're doing it for the next girl so it doesn't happen to her. You know, we have to think about the next girl. You know, put that forward in your mind and look at what happened. This man finally has to stand up for what he has done, and that never would have happened without the courage of a woman. And so just know that there is courage within all of us. You can pull that out of yourself, and it will make you feel better. I've talked to a lot of women who have been abused. And one thing that they always say is letting it out, telling the truth of it, helped them immensely. So even if you talk to your therapist about it or tell somebody, get it off for you so that it doesn't destroy you and destroy your life.
I feel like, thank God for the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Because that opened
Started
up
by
a
a black
lot
woman.
of doors that allowed women to have a sense of comfort in coming out about a lot of this. And I would just say to the women, young women, tell somebody. And know that there are advocates out here now. 10, 15 years ago, not so much. But now they are there. And to suffer from the hands of a deviant like this, you don't have to do that anymore. So let somebody know if something happens to you, go straight to the hospital so that everything is fresh and they can test and maybe grab that person
Evidence.
Right away because
Get evidence.
it's right there. So those are my last thoughts about this. And thank God this man is being held accountable and will have a trial, innocent until proven guilty like everyone else. And I hope more witnesses even come forward.
Which they will.
to help
No doubt.
help the case go as smoothly as possible.
To all of the abusers, the predators out there,
Yeah.
this is the season of reckoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So you've been able to run amok and cause so much pain and trauma and hurt and victim after victim after victim's lives. So this is coming. So just know also, for people who have been victims, don't be afraid. Tell your story. There's freedom in telling your story, like Melly said, like
Yeah.
Mama said.
Yeah.
There is freedom in owning it. Don't be ashamed of it. And like they said, even if you've already gone through it, know there's nothing you can do about the past, but you can help somebody in the future moving forward with your story. So there's power in that.
Yeah. How many people you think is going to go down in this case when they get to the whole freak offs of it all? Like, who was at these parties? Because the parties were documented.
Yeah.
And so now, can you imagine how many people in Hollywood are like shaking in their boots
They
right
are.
now?
They should be.
Because they were at all these parties. And everybody keeps saying, well, it didn't happen when I was there. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we'll see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll
You're
see.
right.
Oh, baby.
There's video now. And if you
Right.
think them videos ain't gonna leak,
Baby, you know they gonna leak.
I bet a lot of them got on Pampers.
Mm-hmm.
Diarrhea, all kind of stuff is going
Yeah.
on. Because
Sick.
I'm
They
sure
sick.
every time they phone go off, they jumping.
Right.
That ain't- that ain't the
what's
DA.
going on? What's going on?
Ain't the DA.
They coming.
Because everybody and
Baby.
their mama has been to a
That's
Diddy
right.
party.
Oh my God.
And they all wanted to go and they all went back several times. It's like, how could you have enjoyed that kind of atmosphere?
Ooh.
What are y'all?
Right.
You know what
Right.
floored
What
me?
are they?
Right.
Ew.
Right.
Anytime you need IVs,
Afterwards.
Oh my God.
I mean, from that alone,
Days.
it's like,
That's-
what kind of demon
Demons.
infected?
Sick, baby.
These are the depraved human beings. I mean, and also very weak and shallow and empty.
Yeah.
You have to be empty
Yeah.
to go to a party like this and enjoy
it.
yourself.
Right. I
And-
would be
and-
running.
And then you
I
have
would
to
have been like-
hire.
That's
You got to hire a cleanup team.
Oh my
God.
good God.
I mean, what do they go in with hazmat suits?
They should.
I mean,
Ugh.
this is the most depraved
Yeah.
Ooh.
scenario I've
And
ever heard of.
these freak offs went on all over.
And
all
the
over.
audacity
All
to
over.
name it
For
freak
years.
offs.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
telling you.
Mm-hmm.
All
And
right,
he had
everybody.
all them toys. They had to get all them toys that you use in the bedroom.
Mhm.
He had buckets and buckets of this
Oh, my
stuff.
God.
I'm like, why would you need 1,000? You know,
You know
what? Just use your imagination, because I can't say it without getting tagged.
and
So,
all that
you know,
baby oil.
Oh,
my
Lord.
I
God.
mean, it sounds like a cesspool of infection. over
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
it does. It sounds like the depths
Yeah.
of hell to me.
It
Yeah.
does.
I really
mean,
want to be honest.
Yeah.
just kill me at the or K, whatever me.
Oh
I
my God.
couldn't.
Yeah.
My God.
I just couldn't. This sounds insane. The whole when I was reading it, I was looking behind my shoulder like, is this real? An
Yeah.
IV?
That took me
Yeah.
out.
What does he have? Nurses?
Oh my God.
And now, you know, I do want to say that
God.
beyond that, but I think there's going to be a lot of stories about who was at these parties and who engaged in what as the witnesses start speaking on the stand,
they're gonna
because
have to.
they will get questions about, well, who was in the room when this happened, and you know, all of that. So a lot of names gonna get dropped during during this trial.
Yeah.
Right now, Diddy is under suicide watch, and I want to kind of explain that. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's under suicide watch." Everybody gets under suicide watch.
Right.
When you
When they're
get
new.
a case like this,
Yeah.
they want to make sure that you don't try to take yourself out before the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they always put you in solitary and keep an eye on you and make sure you ain't got no shoelaces and all of those
Right.
things because they want you to stand up for trial.
That's
They
right.
don't want you to take yourself out before we get this stuff over and done with.
That's right.
And so it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh my God, he wants to take his own life. He does not. He's a narcissist. And he still, in his mind, think he gonna get off. Like, he still think he gonna walk away.
I believe
He thinks he's got enough money and enough lawyers. It was a setback not being able to get out because
Right.
he definitely thought he was just gonna pay the money and go home.
Of course.
And so, kudos to his lawyers being total fools
They are
to
fools.
think that a RICO case wasn't going to hold this man.
I got more sense.
Human trafficking,
Come on now.
you ain't going home.
No, buddy.
They
And so they set him up, but that's more better for
They
me.
did set him
Because
up.
they are
even-
fools.
They did. And even with the raid,
Yeah.
he ran when he went to Florida.
Yeah.
He ran.
But he definitely knew he was getting out. That he was going home because he came back to
Yeah.
New York willingly, waiting for them to come get him. He out at the
Yeah.
park and stuff, hanging out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this dude really think he going home.
Yeah.
still moving
Yeah,
around.
doing it.
But I tell you what I don't believe is gonna happen now. They ain't gonna let him out because if they let him out now,
He's gone.
he gone.
Oh yeah.
But they not letting him out.
No.
He
I
was
know it.
never getting that. So
ain't
RICO
getting out.
case,
Yeah.
He's
they
not
took
getting out.
down the mob.
But here's
You
the-
think they can't take Diddy
Diddy
the
down?
diddler?
Okay.
Yeah,
Did he do what? Bop.
yeah,
Puff Daddy?
yeah. Cuff daddy. He cuffed up now.
He cuffed
Cuff
up
daddy.
now.
Oh man, people really thought
Mama, this is-
they really thought that these dudes would never get touched.
They did.
That's right.
And I was one of them people, really. I didn't see this coming because it's like when people get away with stuff for so
Yeah,
long,
but what I done told you.
and that was my point.
But you never get away though.
Nobody
You
gets
think
away.
you're getting away.
Nobody.
But that don't mean that you yourself is gonna see them get
Right.
theirs.
You
That's,
might
that's
not.
what
That's
I
true.
mean by it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was gonna witness it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
You gon'
eventually
get it.
happen, but it might not have happened while I was around.
Yeah.
You know, but so to witness R. Kelly go down, to witness this with P. Diddy,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it
because
is.
I didn't know I would get the chance to be like, they finally got what they deserve.
Yeah, everybody does.
I mean, I still can't believe R. Kelly. I still can't believe that like he's in jail.
He
I
is.
cannot
Yeah, I can't
believe
believe
it.
he got
He in there
because
right
the
now.
It's
atrocities.
still like, wow.
Yeah.
It's still a wow. Because all of our lives, these
right.
dudes, even before our lives,
That's right.
they were doing this.
That's right.
Yeah, they was acting
They
crazy.
was doing
Predators.
this.
Yes, right.
Before we were even born.
Born. Thank you.
Just
Ain't that
sick.
crazy?
Yes, very. And been getting away with it all these years.
That's what I'm saying.
Or racking up their bill on karma.
Yeah.
That's what it, that's
and
what it
now
really
it's,
goes
you know,
down
their
to.
legacies and how they go out
It's
of this
over.
world
It's
is
trashed.
Trash personified.
Think about. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm just saying, I believe they both. This is demon possession.
Oh, for sure.
Nobody. This is even human.
That's for sure.
No, yeah.
For sure.
What they've done.
Yeah.
Getting back to that, you were saying who gonna be left. I think very few people. Because
Yeah.
think about who P. Diddy was in the industry.
Yeah.
You're talking about Hollywood. You're talking about music industry, dignitaries, politicians.
And what about that other dude, with the white dude that did this same type of stuff?
Weinstein,
Offense.
what is his name?
who?
The white dude that was doing the
that was at the same prison actually as Diddy.
the trafficking and all of that. He was
Weinstein.
getting girls
Not
and boys.
Weinstein.
Not
Mm-mm.
Harvey. He was SAing women.
This
and doing
one
that. This dude was putting on parties and had an island. Trump went to and
the
all
one
of that.
and he was
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein.
That's him.
That's
He
him.
So
was
what I'm saying is, is that is him plus Diddy. You talking about the two
unreal.
dudes who were putting together these freak offs, whatever you want to call all
Yeah.
of them. I think it's gonna scare a lot of these people into
Yeah.
not doing that behavior anymore, like not risking it, because whoever is on these tapes. If they get away,
baby,
I just think that the days of parties and stuff like this is finally over.
I do too.
Because nobody, after watching two giants of the industry,
giants,
go down, 3 giants of the industry, go down. No, 4. So you got Weinstein, you got Epstein, you got R. Kelly, and now Diddy.
Yeah.
Those are huge pieces in the music and film industry that are gone.
Right.
The Steens are gone.
And I think that is a great thing for the future.
I do too.
Because nobody will take this kind of risk again.
I bet you
I don't
right
see that.
now it's tapes. Somebody burning up tapes as we speak.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're out there right now making deals with the prosecution like, yo, we'll tell you something off record, but please don't get my tape out there.
That's right.
I'll tell you whatever you want to know. You know, all kind of deals is going on behind the scenes. Because people trying to save their career, but some of them ain't going to be able to. Because of what they did.
It was too horrific. They
got to go down.
Plus, they don't need a whole lot of deals because they got the tape.
That's what I'm saying.
They already got the information on this guy.
And they got the best witnesses. First of all, Cassie was there for years.
Yeah.
She witnessed and was a part of these freak-offs for years. So it's just with her alone.
That's right. Do we believe the theory now?
Jeez.
I've always believed it. But do we believe the theory of the Kim Porter unaliving?
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean,
because she was going to come out with a book. She was going to start talking.
Right.
And anytime anybody was going to start talking.
And they said,
even Quincy's father, what's his name? Albie Short. He was about to come out with a book and then ended up in a coma.
Yeah.
Well, he believes that he wants her case reopened. He said that the other day.
Let's do another autopsy.
Oh, my God.
But,
but
her laptop was gone.
Yeah. All the information. It's a lot. It was a lot on the line. Now we know how much was on the line. So I do think there was some foul play with her death.
I do.
No doubt about it. But we're gonna
flew and killed you.
We're gonna wrap this up. So, Mama, what are your outgoing words here?
The Lord is my light and my salvation.
Yeah.
Whom shall I fear?
Woo.
Well,
that's it right there.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
Y'all be blessed and encouraged. Safe.
Yes,
we will do a part 2 of this episode if, more information comes out as the case develops and begins. We'll probably come back to this subject just to stay up to date on it. But we'll see you in the next episode. Be good.
Peace.
Bye.